What up? This is the FNS Hot Take. Today, it's me along with Josh.
What's happening?
Yeah, we here to talk about Tibbs. Actually, the Knicks just got routed, right? Pretty bad. It was bad. They got whooped on pretty bad. But
Final score.
I'm going to that right now.
The final score was 121-89.
And look, they was getting whooped worse than that. So I mean,
Right.
for them to even get 89 was crazy.
And
You know
the
what I'm
funny
saying?
thing is, I didn't get to watch the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I know people that was watching the game in group chats, and I was trying to keep track of the game on the ESPN Gamecast thing.
Right.
The Pacers was up 20 at the end of the first quarter.
When they threw that lob, I think they ended up being up 40.
All I know is that based on what everybody else was saying,
Mm-hmm.
Tibbs refused to call a timeout. Like, he just watched this happen.
So he was on some Darvin Ham stuff.
He was on some ham stuff. And like, literally just watched the lead grow from whatever it was to 20.
That's crazy.
Let me pull up this thing. I'm gonna pull up the quarter by quarter. You can keep going.
Yeah, that's crazy. See, because Tibbs got a history of running players into the ground. Like, we can argue that Derrick Rose and them could have won a championship if he just didn't run them guys into the ground. I don't even know if this is necessarily opinion. It's not an opinion. This is a fact. Those guys on that roster is there for a reason. They have jerseys on for a reason. You have to utilize those guys at least to give your starters a break. That's what they're there for. You can't consistently run these guys for 48 minutes playing physical, rough basketball thinking folks gonna be healthy, especially the style Tibbs like to play.
Correct.
That's not sustainable for a full season, including playoffs. Now, I'm not saying Tibbs can't coach. I just don't think he should be a head coach. He probably should just stay as an assistant or something.
Exactly. It's the same thing for football. Some really good offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, when they get head coaching jobs and they have to take on the responsibility of all the ultimate decisions instead of just their side of the ball, life get real different real quick. But just to go with the quarter by quarter breakdown, at the end of the first quarter, it was 34-14.
That's crazy.
And then second quarter, the points scored. Pacers scored 35, Knicks scored 27.
Yeah, I'm looking at the same thing you looking at. I pulled it up too.
All right, third quarter, Pacers 32, Knicks only 22. So that's a 10-point spread.
Mm-hmm.
So the only quarter that the Knicks won was the fourth quarter, and that was when the benches was cleared for the most
I was about
part.
to say, that sound like that Rick Carlisle probably took folks out and just go ahead, like, yeah, go, you know what I mean?
Well,
Sorry,
from what I was told from everybody else that was watching the game was that, like, Carlisle was like, he wasn't going to take his starters out until
Right.
Tibbs took out Brunson and Josh Hart and DiVincenzo and them guys.
that makes sense.
Because the Pacers, look, we already talked about the Pacers roster.
Mm-hmm.
The Pacers is reliant on Tyrese Halliburton having a good game and then getting Pascal helped, and they need him to play well too.
Right.
And once those guys are off the floor, it's a bunch of young and inexperienced outside of TJ McConnell. But once those guys get off the floor, the Knicks would have been more than capable of making a run if they would have kept those guys on the floor. So I can see why he wouldn't take his guys out until essentially Tibbs waved the white flag.
Well, like I told you before, this is a coaching series because of the talent on the roster on both ends. Like, I know you said on the WhatsApp that the Knicks is better than the Pacers, which I'm not going to disagree with that necessarily.
I don't even think it's close. I don't even
I,
think it's close.
I'm not disagreeing. It's just the way. I'll say this. You know what I'm saying? Neither squad got the weapons. You know what I'm saying? That's taking you to the finals, or should I say out the first round if everybody was healthy. So really, at this moment right now, they look evenly matched.
Right
now, at the moment, they evenly matched. Hence the why it's 2-2.
And
so
the
really,
funny thing is the funny. I mean, I know those are true statements as far as them. Neither one of them having a roster to take them to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the way Boston plays, they like to play with their food a lot.
Neither one of these teams being Boston.
I hear you.
Whether they play with it or not, they not beating them. There's
no. But what I'm saying is, they'll make the series longer than what it needs to be, just because Boston plays with their food.
You're right. I definitely. But with these, if any one of these teams get a win, I almost feel like that's a fireable offense. That's a fireable offense. Like, that's literally like, that's a fireable offense, man. Like, this should be an easy sweep, no matter who come out of this series, right? That should be an easy sweep.
Once again, a lot of this can come down to coaching. Because
I know you're not a big Missoula guy.
No. I feel like, kind of like Darvin Ham, he should have never got the job in the first place.
You gonna put him with Darvin Ham?
Only in that sense, that he should have never got the job in the first place. I understand why they would go with him, because he was in the building with Udoka there, but that don't mean that he was deserving of being the head coach for this team.
I can't necessarily dispute that. I'm just saying, like, well, speaking of him, he linked to the Hornets. I think you said something about he should coach the Hornets.
That should have been his starting job.
He's linked to the Hornets right now. Actually, I was looking that up. He linked to the Hornets.
Like, well, see, and like he should be linked to the Hornets. JJ Redick should be linked to the Hornets.
Yo, the Lakers sound like they really trying to. Anyway, they really want Redick. But
anyway, hold on 1 second. Let me close this door.
Yeah, the Lakers really wanting Redick. That's wild. That's bad.
But anyway, to get back to the subject matter, teams.
Yeah.
Got a history of running players in the ground, right? You want to go through the history?
I mean, yeah, we can. I mean, the big one we already know. He played for Memphis right now.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose. If this man would have not, like, granted, Rose, I think Rose crawl for Ja Morant to walk. You know what I'm saying? Whether you want to, whatever the case is. But Rose, the youngest MVP, all that, they was on a trajectory to get a championship. They should have beat LeBron in them. They should have. If this man would just use his rotations. He does not use it. He stayed with an 8-man rotation. And that's just his style of play, the way he runs his offense or whatever, it's just not sustainable. If he played a half-court style of offense, maybe so, but even then, you still need to at least go with a 12-man rotation to give people a rest.
Look at the teams that won championships. A couple of the teams that won championships in the past that beat juggernaut teams. You got, so everybody like points out the Bron, Wade, Bosh, their first loss against Dallas.
Right.
Rick Carlisle was the head coach of this team.
And they had two lineups.
They had two full lineups. Like, he used 10 players in that roster.
Yes.
And I remember Tyson Chandler, I remember him in an interview saying that Carlisle told him, don't worry too much about getting in foul trouble because we got Brendan Haywood coming off the bench.
Exactly. And that's the point, man. Like, these guys have to be, they don't have jerseys on for nothing. They're not on the roster for no reason. I just don't understand how you only go with that small of a rotation, period. These guys are there for a reason to be used in some sort of way. You know what I'm saying?
And then if you want to think back to the little rivalry that existed between the Warriors and the Cavs when Bron was over there. Before the Warriors traded to get Kevin Durant, I think Steve Kerr had some games where he used all 12 active players.
You should.
You would. Because there was some little spurts in some of those games where Maurice Spates, I believe his name is Spates. He would come into the game, play a quality 8-10 minutes, and be a problem.
That's what I was saying. On the WhatsApp. I'm like, dude, if all Tibbs gotta do is make that small. I mean, everybody got their flaws, coaching flaws, but all he gotta do is use his rotations. You will find, like, if he right now for New York, because they all messed up. If you go down that bench, somebody's gonna give you something just off the strength of them wanting to get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
they're gonna come in and want to give you something. You gonna find something. You just got to give them a shot.
That's,
you know what I'm saying?
That's why I said, I was like, this dude, he has Alec Burks, Shake Milton on the bench.
There's no excuse for them not to be in the rotation. I forgot they was even on the roster. That's how bad his rotations is.
And then the other thing is, he gave him playing time last year. I don't know what the deal is with this year. But like Jericho Sims.
Right, he's over there too.
Yeah.
I forget. Dog, he literally got. There's no excuse. That's why I said I let him go after this year. He's gone. If Frank Vogel is still available, Griffin, I'm bringing one of them in. Because Tibbs, I'm not about to allow him to. He's single-handedly destroying the roster, bro, on some physical stuff. Look at him. They're dropping like flies, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Which made me
it's crazy.
Made me look at Jalen Brunson's dad and wonder what kind of conversation.
I didn't know he was an actual coach. I knew he was over there.
Over there. I don't know exactly what job he has. I can look that up really quick. But he's over there. He was the one that was lobbying for the Knicks to get his son. The
wild part is I thought that he came over there after. I didn't even know like his pops was even in the league. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I didn't know. Man, like you said, this could be one of two things to me, because either he's like Tibbs, who don't have a balance, and on some man up type stuff, you need to man up. You know what I mean? Blah, 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 blah. Warriors play through this. He could be one of them, or him and Tibbs be having problems, maybe, possibly. We don't know this. I'm just saying. I mean, you know, if that's my son, and if I don't agree with this, me and Tibbs, it's gonna be furniture moving back there in them conference rooms, dog. Like, because what are you doing?
Right. Yeah. He right now it has him listed as an assistant coach. I'm trying to see what exactly his role is.
He ain't the main assistant, is it?
He's just an assistant coach. He's not the assistant head coach. That's Johnny Bryant. But he's an assistant coach. I was trying to see if he's like quality control, or if he's like shoot like defense. I'm trying to see if he's like listed as something special like that, but it just has him listed as an assistant coach. Let me see. Maybe if I look him up by himself, I'll probably get a better answer.
They got so many coaching staffs, dog. Like they got so many like people on the coaching staff, bro. Like it's you don't know what folks' roles is for real. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
let me see. I'm trying to see if I see something here. See if it gives me a little bit more substance. But it just says assistant coach. So he over there. He an assistant coach.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. He got to get up out of there.
But yeah, so we had the press conference with Josh Hart talking crazy because he played.
That's Neil's in the locker room talking.
he played 3 straight games, the whole 48.
That's crazy, man. Like you cannot sustain that. That's crazy.
And like it sounds good in the press conference. It sounds good. I mean, I remember he was saying that, I don't know what everybody talking about. Like this is basketball. The other dudes might be soft, and there's people that work 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, and stuff like
that. That's crazy.
I mean,
that's crazy. Look,
this is coming from a guy who is the hustle player.
I don't care how much of a hustle player you is, you cannot sustain playing 48 straight minutes.
No,
like you can't do that.
I'm saying that to say this. This is a guy that his job on the floor, he's going 1,000 miles an hour nonstop, and he feels like this is doable after doing it 3 times.
Did you see that conference? There's a video where Josh Hart, I guess somebody said Tibbs was in the press conference, right? I don't know when this was, but I guess Josh Hart complimented him and saying he don't understand why he didn't get coach of the year. And then Tibbs was like, I guess he wants more minutes. And then one of the media people in the background was like, is that even possible?
I didn't see that one, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm saying, like,
I would not be surprised.
Bro, like you look.
See, because this is the thing. Losing this game to Indiana in itself is not a totally bad thing. It's the way they lost.
Look.
When you lose like that right from the jump, like what is that supposed to say about game 5 when you come back home?
It don't matter if everybody injured. It don't matter. It's gonna be the same outcome.
But
you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be the same. Like
that's the reason why I said that.
Like, it's gonna be the same outcome. I mean, they may have a little injury, but listen, if you got it, I mean, they may have a little energy. I mean, but them injuries I don't care what you hear from the crowd, the roars or whatever.
You can have Spike,
hamstrings,
Tracy Morgan.
You know what I mean?
Can have Fat Joe. You can have 50 Cent. You can have all of them dudes on the sideline supporting y'all. It's not gonna make a difference,
bro. When pulling hamstrings, that don't matter, boy. You man, listen, they feeling it.
And speaking of that, they said on the post game review for the Pacers thing that OG Anunoby, he's supposed to be out for game 5 too.
That's what I'm saying. Man, he was. No, I don't know if it's a groin or hamstring. It's something like that, bruh. Them hamstrings ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying? And usually when you get hamstrings, it's from too much strain, no rest, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, look,
this is set up to get flipped the wrong way. I had the Knicks winning in 6. I had the Knicks winning in 6. They both not good enough for me to believe that either one of them was going to sweep or anything like that.
No, I thought this was going to be 7 games, period. I thought this series was going 7 just because of the rosters. They both bottom tier of the East. I'm like, this thing could go 7. I mean, now if everybody healthy, I would say the Knicks wins that. Like when you was naming down the people that's on the roster. I mean, the Knicks just have more seasoned guys on their roster, and they should be able to beat the Pacers. But at this point, well, it don't even look like it's going 7 now because
no,
folks about to be leaving You know what I'm saying? Like, he about to have folks rolling out on wheelchairs. Like, if he keep doing this, they're gonna have serious injuries to the point to where they're gonna have issues starting next season.
Right.
Straight up and down.
And this right here, even if you was to go fully healthy rosters for both squads, New York gets Julius Randle, Indiana gets Benedict Matthews. I mean, the rosters, even with the injuries, the rosters sway so heavily in the Knicks' favor. This is Rick Carlisle.
Would you say the coaching balanced that out, though?
It should.
Because with Rick Carlisle being a better, like, okay,
he's seasoned. He's
right.
He's been through
Tibbs, he got a blockage there when it comes to rotations. This cat don't use rotations. So even with you having all them weapons, if this cat only uses 8 people, doesn't matter.
And let me be clear, I don't view these rosters as you got a full arsenal or anything.
No,
it's just,
I agree.
It's just when you look at that in comparison to this, it's like, okay, I get y'all ain't all that good, but y'all should be able to handle them.
Right, but what I'm saying is, let's play. Oh, everybody's healthy here. You know what I'm saying? Everybody 100%. With Tibbs are getting away because he'll only want to play 8 dudes.
And
he getting away.
The crazy thing is, I think Rick Carlisle's taking Tibbs to coaching school here.
That's just, well, I wouldn't even say that's just Tibbs. No, Tibbs is not some rookie coach. So I mean,
no, but
that's the crazy part here.
But
it's
kind of clear here that he should not be making the final decisions.
No, I think everybody knows that. That's why I don't understand why he keep getting put in these head coaching positions. Like, he cold as an assistant. He cold, especially running the defense. He cold on that end, but right. He do not need to be handling rotations, man. Like, he just don't.
Well, I mean, not just handling rotations. He don't need to be handling the offense. Somebody else need to be drawing up the plays during timeouts.
That's why he's better suited as an assistant, period. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just better off there. There's nothing wrong with that. Look, just like NFL, you got some cats that's elite as defensive coordinators, but cannot be a head coach under any circumstances. But as a defensive coordinator,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that.
But everybody's looking for a pay raise. Everybody's looking for a pay raise. The head coach is going to be the highest paid coach on the staff.
Yeah, but
everybody's going to be looking for a pay raise.
Listen.
That's part of the reason why guys jump out of that assistant coach role to get a head coaching job. Even if and they can do this taking a trash squad. Oh yeah, I'm gonna take them. I mean, I'm gonna see what I can do with them, but I'm definitely gonna get that check.
Yeah. Look, man, you can still make good dough as the assistant. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, of course, but they ain't gonna look at it that way.
You can still make good dough. You know what I'm saying? As
they like to count other men's pockets, apparently. Because in their own world, they could be better coaches in a certain aspect of the game than another coach, even than the head coach in some cases. And they feel like that's validation for them to get the head coaching job. But
I just do not think that. Look, man, some people's got to know their role. it'd be too much dip on the chip. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just my thing. It'd be too many. What's that saying? Too many Chiefs, not enough Indians.
Yeah.
It's okay being an Indian. You still play a key role in winning here. You do not have to be the head, because some people just can't do that. And Tibbs cannot do that. It's evidence. Now he can take you to a certain point. I'm not saying he's not successful. He can take it to a certain point, but when things get thick, he is not going to use no rotations. He's only going to rely on his starting lineup and maybe 2 guys on the bench.
Right.
And he going to run that thing all the way through. Injuries, now you can tell him in my hamstring sore. It's all right, man. Just ice it down. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you still going out there running full throttle. Now you done pulled it.
Right. And you know what? It's not just the games. Like, what is Tibbs having his players doing in practice?
I have no idea. Man, you know, that could be, you never know, because when these players talk, you got some cats that say, oh, we don't practice, oh, blah, blah, blah. You never know what they doing. Everybody's shoot around sound different. Even walkthroughs, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's stuff sound different.
Right.
So, you got some people, you know, I don't know what he doing.
I don't know, man. I mean, the thing with Tibbs is he's wasting a really good year from somebody who, given from a historical standpoint, he won't be at the same table as some of the best.
About Brunson.
Yeah, but this year he is one of the best in the league. In my opinion, he's had a better year than some of those guys that have stacked decade worth of quality play. And not saying that this means that he's ascending and he's becoming this superstar, because we don't know if he's going to continue to do this or not. But just based on what we've seen out of this year alone, he was arguably the second best at his position, because I personally feel like Halliburton was the best point guard in the league this year. When you consider what a point guard is supposed to be, he's not the best scorer,
right?
You know, but when you consider what a traditional point guard is supposed to be, Halliburton is carrying the heaviest load of any of the all-star, star caliber point guards in the league.
Right.
And he's got them to the playoffs, given the East is in the predicament that it's in. Given that, you know, we don't got no Trae Young or DeJounte Murray in this playoffs. We don't got well, we didn't get what everybody was thinking or what was hoping that we was gonna get out of Dame. Like, he got that on his resume. Like, he got a graveyard with Dame Lillard in it right now.
He's in a graveyard? Oh, man. Like...
A 2024 graveyard of Damian Lillard in it. That's what he had.
Like I said, the Knicks is not going to be this nice next year.
Well, I mean...
They're not.
We need to wait and see what's going to happen in the offseason before we start seeing
it. They're not about to be this right here. I have very strong feelings that this is not about to go the way folks think it is next year. If everybody is fully loaded and healthy, there is no way.
Well, you want to know why I feel like there's a strong possibility that they will be back in this playoff position? They might not be a number 2 seed, but they'll be back in this playoff position. It's because of what we said. Look at the state of the East.
It's terrible.
So, I mean, Brooklyn was in the playoffs last year. They not there, and they not going to be there no time soon. Not relying just on Mikal Bridges. No. You know, it's rumored possibility, maybe, that Donovan Mitchell may leave the Cavs.
Well, he wanted to go to the Knicks, so I mean, he's been wanting.
If he
to
go
there.
to the Knicks, then that just Brunson just gonna probably have to take a backseat to him. And
I mean,
isn't
Donovan Mitchell overrated? I mean, like,
I was gonna say that next. I mean, given he doing his thing this year, but when he start having those 40 minute plus strains put on him, I don't know what that's gonna do.
Nothing. He already hobbling now. So I mean, I don't think Donovan Mitchell's no good number one guy.
No, and like,
I don't think neither of them is good number one guys.
In a normal world, no. But in this NBA, in this day and age of the NBA, it's crazy, but you can get away with it. Like,
that's ridiculous. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, okay. So like, who's the other teams in the East? Toronto, who was normally a playoff team, they wasn't in the playoffs. Chicago, with that roster, should have been a playoff team.
They should have, but it was a bad mix.
Right. I have no reason to believe that the Knicks won't be back in this position again next year.
Chicago is an NBA 2K team. That's not no real life team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a team that you can get off with in the video game. But they all may not mix. But we got 2 minutes left, so we gonna probably. You got any last statements on this?
So to get back to Tom Thibodeau, you're ruining your team.
That's what you're doing, fam. We know that. We see this.
He's ruined, and this is a broken record. We're seeing it again. Now, thankfully, you still got a chance to kind of try to turn this around. But I kind of got a feeling that the damage is already done.
No.
I got a feeling that the damage is already done. Like, not having OG Anunoby in the lineup for Game 5. Y'all might be going back to Indiana down 3-2 when Indiana clearly is a different team in Indy. And they almost popped y'all at home had the refs probably would have not been in the books, maybe. I don't know.
They in the books.
Rick Carlisle, I don't know if you heard about that, but
I seen it.
He's sitting in 78 calls.
Yeah, I seen it. Like, Rick Carlisle, he not playing. He's like, yo, like. so Tibbs is ruining whatever Nick dreams that they had of getting swept by the Celtics. Exactly, and that ends this hot take. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We gonna be right back though. Stay tuned.